Love is one of the most beautiful and transformative experiences we can have. It connects us, teaches us, and helps us grow. But in the midst of this deep connection, there's a vital truth we must never forget: the importance of loving without losing who we are. True love, ladies and gentlemen, is not about losing yourself to another person. It's about finding a balance, a space where two unique individuals can grow together while still celebrating their individuality. You see, love should never require you to shrink, compromise your dreams, or abandon your passions. Instead, it should inspire you to become more of who you are. And next in line for Friday the 13th, Part 7, Love Comes From Within You, the more you're. One of the most important ways to preserve your identity is by setting and respecting boundaries. Boundaries are not walls meant to keep others out. They're the guidelines that ensure mutual respect. When you communicate your needs and expectations clearly, you create an environment where love can thrive, without one partner overshadowing the other. And let's talk about individuality. The beauty of a relationship lies in the union of two distinct people. Don't be afraid to nurture your passions and follow your goals. Remember, the qualities that made your partner fall in love with you likely stemmed from your sense of self. Losing that identity does a disservice not only to you, but to the relationship itself. Guard against codependence. While it's natural to lean on your partner during tough times, happiness must come from within. A relationship should enhance your life, not define it. When you rely too much on your partner for emotional fulfillment, it creates an unhealthy dynamic. Love them deeply, but don't forget to love yourself first. Never underestimate the power of authentic communication. Speak your truth, share your feelings, and encourage your partner to do the same. When you communicate openly, you create a partnership built on trust, where both individuals feel heard and valued. Loving without losing your identity is not just a goal. It's a necessity for any relationship that hopes to stand the test of time. Love fiercely, but remember, you are not halves coming together to make a whole. You are two complete individuals, sharing a beautiful journey together. So let love elevate you, not erase you. Celebrate who you are, and cherish the one you love for who they are too. That, my friends, is the true essence of love. Love is often portrayed as the force that binds people together, creating an unbreakable bond that transcends time and space. It's celebrated in songs, books, movies, and every corner of our culture. But there's a crucial part of love that is often overlooked: the need for each person to maintain their individual identity. True love is not about losing yourself in someone else, or becoming a version of yourself that only exists for the other person. It's about a relationship where both partners thrive as individuals, while supporting each other's growth. When we think about love, we often imagine a perfect partnership where two people are so connected that they seem to complete each other. While this can sound beautiful, it's important to remember that true love should empower you to be the best version of yourself, not the only version of yourself that your partner envisions. The idea of being complete. Finding someone else can set up unrealistic expectations and foster unhealthy dependence, where your value and worth are determined by how your partner sees you. Loving without losing your identity begins with recognizing that as individuals we are whole and worthy of love as we are. Love should be an extension of that wholeness, not a means to fix something within ourselves or fill a void. When we enter a relationship, we bring our own dreams, values, experiences, and desires. These are the very aspects of ourselves that make us unique, and they should be celebrated in the relationship, not compromised for the sake of the partnership. One of the most powerful ways to ensure that you maintain your identity in a relationship is to have a clear sense of who you are and what you value. When you enter a partnership, it's essential to remain grounded in your sense of self. This means knowing your own goals, beliefs, and needs, and having the courage to communicate these to your partner. When we are secure in our identity, we can engage in a relationship without fear of being diminished or losing our sense of worth. Instead, we invite our partner to love us for who we truly are, flaws, imperfections, and all. But knowing who we are is only the beginning. It's equally important to maintain that sense of self as the relationship deepens. As relationships evolve, there is a natural tendency to accommodate your partner's needs, desires, and values. This can lead to a gradual shift where we start making sacrifices, sometimes even compromising on things that matter most to us. While compromise is an essential part of any relationship, it should never come at the cost of who you are. It's crucial to establish and communicate your boundaries early on and be firm about maintaining them. Healthy relationships are built on mutual respect, and part of that respect is understanding that both partners deserve the space to grow, evolve, and continue pursuing their individual passions. It's easy in the beginning, of course, to think that everyone wants the same things. But if that is not true, in many relationships there can be a subtle yet powerful pressure to conform to what the other person wants or expects. This pressure can lead to resentment over time, as we suppress parts of ourselves to meet the other person's needs. However, when we compromise too much of ourselves, we may begin to lose sight of what makes us unique, and the relationship risks becoming one-sided. Love is not about erasing who you are to make room for someone else. It's about sharing your individual selves and creating a space where both people can flourish. True love thrives when both partners support each other's individuality. It's not about merging into one identity, but about respecting and nurturing each other's personal journeys. In healthy relationships, partners encourage one another to pursue their dreams, face challenges, and grow into the best versions of themselves. The love you share should fuel the fire of your personal ambitions, not extinguish them. By supporting each other's individual passions and goals, you create a strong foundation of trust and mutual respect, where neither person feels threatened by the other's success or personal development. In conclusion, love without losing your identity is the foundation of a healthy, sustainable relationship. By maintaining a strong sense of self and honoring the individuality of your partner, you build a relationship that allows both people to flourish. You bring your strengths, passions, and values into the relationship, and in doing so, create a partnership that is not based on dependency, but on mutual growth. Remember, love is not about losing who you are in the process. It's about loving yourself deeply enough to invite another person to share your journey, while still honoring the person you've always been. This is the true essence of love, two people coming together, not to complete each other, but to celebrate each other's individuality, side by side. In any relationship, whether romantic, familial, or even professional, boundaries are essential for maintaining personal well-being and emotional health. Boundaries serve as the invisible lines that define where one person ends and another begins. They are a way of communicating our needs, desires, and limits, ensuring that we are not overwhelmed or compromised by the actions, expectations, or demands of others. Healthy boundaries are fundamental to sustaining a loving relationship without losing your identity or sacrificing your emotional safety. Without boundaries, relationships can become suffocating, imbalanced, and even toxic, leading to resentment and frustration. At the heart of maintaining boundaries in any relationship is the need for mutual respect. Healthy boundaries are not about building walls between you and your partner, but about fostering an environment where both individuals can coexist as separate whole people. It's about understanding that both people have individual needs, desires, and limitations that should be acknowledged and respected. When these boundaries are in place, each person can express themselves honestly and authentically without fear of judgment or the risk of being ignored or taken for granted. This foundation of respect creates a safe space where both partners can grow, share, and love without fear of losing their individuality. The key to setting healthy boundaries is self-awareness. It requires taking the time to understand your own needs, limits, and triggers. What are the things that make you feel valued, heard, and respected? What are the behaviors that cause discomfort, anxiety, or stress in the relationship? These questions require honest introspection. Once you have a better understanding of your own emotional needs and limits, you can communicate them to your partner in a way that is constructive, clear, and compassionate. For example, if you value personal time for reflection or relaxation, it's important to let your partner know that you need space to recharge without feeling guilty or pressured. If there are topics that are difficult to discuss or certain behaviors that cross your boundaries, it's important to express those feelings without fear of reprisal. The team leader requests that no discussion be had. Setting boundaries also involves learning to say no when necessary. Often we are taught to please others and avoid conflict, which can lead to us sacrificing our own needs to accommodate others. This can be particularly difficult in romantic relationships, where the desire to maintain harmony or avoid disappointing our partner can cloud our judgment. However, saying no is not about rejecting the person or the relationship. It's about acknowledging that you have the right to protect your own emotional space. Boundaries give us permission to honor our needs and ensure that we are not overwhelmed by external pressures or demands. In a healthy relationship, both partners should feel comfortable expressing their limits without the fear of being misunderstood or punished. Importantly, boundaries are not static. They can evolve as the relationship deepens or as life circumstances change. What you may have been comfortable with at the beginning of the relationship may no longer work for you as time goes on. Similarly, your partner's boundaries may shift as they grow and develop. Therefore, it is essential to have ongoing conversations about boundaries to ensure that both partners feel safe and supported. These conversations should be open, honest, and free of judgment. Each partner should feel empowered to voice their needs and be willing to listen to the other person's concerns. Communication about boundaries helps prevent misunderstandings and ensures that both partners feel respected and valued. It's also important to understand that setting boundaries does not mean controlling or manipulating your partner. Boundaries are not a tool for power or control, but a means to preserve your own emotional and mental health. It is important to differentiate between setting healthy boundaries and engaging in unhealthy behaviors like manipulation or coercion. A boundary should always be about your own needs and comfort, not about demanding that your partner change or conform to your will. In a loving relationship, both individuals should support each other's boundaries, understanding that the goal is to foster a relationship where both people can thrive as their authentic selves. In some cases, boundaries may be violated or disregarded by one partner. When this happens, it's crucial to address the issue openly and assertively. Ignoring boundary violations can lead to resentment and hurt feelings, eroding the trust and respect in the relationship. If your boundaries are not respected, it's important to communicate how the violation makes you feel and express the need for it to be addressed. Healthy relationships thrive on trust. And when both partners respect each other's boundaries, it strengthens the bond and fosters deeper emotional intimacy. In conclusion, boundaries are not limitations. They are the foundation of a healthy relationship. They ensure that both individuals have the space to be their authentic selves while fostering respect, trust, and understanding. By setting and respecting boundaries, you create an environment where love can flourish, not at the expense of your identity, but alongside it. Boundaries allow you to remain true to who you are while nurturing the relationship, ensuring that both partners feel valued, heard, and empowered. When boundaries are honored, love can grow in a way that benefits both people, creating a partnership that is not only sustainable, but deeply fulfilling. In any relationship, one of the most profound aspects of maintaining your sense of self is celebrating and nurturing your individuality. We are all unique individuals, each with our own passions, dreams, and experiences that make us who we are. When we enter into a partnership, it's natural to share parts of ourselves with our partner, to bond over shared interests, and to build a life together. However, it's equally important to ensure that we continue to honor and cultivate the things that make us who we are outside of the relationship. Celebrating your individuality is not only vital for your personal well-being, but it's also crucial for the health and longevity of the relationship itself. But at the core of celebrating individuality is the recognition that you are a whole person before you are anyone else's partner. Your interests, your passions, and your dreams are what make you uniquely you. These aspects of yourself shouldn't be sacrificed or abandoned for the sake of the relationship. In fact, nurturing your individuality can actually enhance your connection with your partner. When you pursue your own passions, it not only brings fulfillment to your life, but also adds depth and richness to the relationship. You bring your best self to the partnership when you allow yourself the space to grow and thrive as an individual. It's important to remember that being in a relationship doesn't mean you need to give up your personal pursuits. Whether it's your career, hobbies, friendships, or personal goals, these parts of yourself deserve to be nurtured and respected. Sometimes, in the whirlwind of love and intimacy, we can lose sight of our own dreams as we focus too much on our partner or the relationship. While it's natural to prioritize the bond with your significant other, it's also essential to make time for yourself. This allows you to continue growing as an individual, which in turn benefits the relationship. When you're able to pursue your passions, you bring a sense of fulfillment and joy that your partner can share in, rather than relying on them to provide that happiness for you. Another crucial aspect of celebrating individuality is maintaining a sense of autonomy. In any relationship, it's essential to have your own life outside of the partnership. This doesn't mean distancing yourself or keeping secrets from your partner. Rather, it's about ensuring that you maintain the ability to function independently. Autonomy allows you to make decisions for yourself, pursue your own goals, and engage in activities that bring you joy. It's about finding a balance between the relationship and the individual, where both can coexist harmoniously without one overwhelming the other. When both partners can maintain their own sense of autonomy, it leads to a healthier, more fulfilling partnership, as each person feels respected and empowered to be themselves." End quote. Celebrating individuality also involves recognizing and honoring your partner's unique qualities and passions. In a healthy relationship, it's not about two people losing themselves in each other, but about two individuals coming together to create something greater than the sum of their parts. When both partners celebrate each other's uniqueness, it strengthens the relationship by fostering respect and appreciation. You should never feel threatened by your partner's individuality. Instead, embrace it. Encourage each other to pursue your personal goals and dreams, and celebrate the achievements that come from this shared respect for individuality. It's also essential to understand that celebrating your individuality doesn't mean being selfish or prioritizing yourself over your partner's needs. It's about creating a space where both partners can thrive as their true selves. In a relationship, there must be mutual respect and compromise. But this should never come at the expense of your individuality. You can support each other, love each other, and share your lives, all while maintaining the unique qualities that make you who you are. Relationships are not about losing yourself to make someone else happy, but about growing together while still preserving the essence of who you are. Honoring your individuality allows you to avoid the trap of codependency, where one person's identity is defined solely by the other. Codependency can be damaging because it leads to a loss of personal autonomy and self-worth. Instead of relying on your partner to validate your existence or provide your happiness, celebrating your individuality means finding fulfillment within yourself. This doesn't mean that your partner isn't important or that their presence isn't significant in your life. It simply means that you understand that your happiness comes from within, and that you have a life, goals, and passions outside of the relationship. In conclusion, celebrating individuality within a relationship is essential for both personal growth and relationship longevity. By maintaining a sense of self and nurturing your own passions, you not only enhance your own happiness, but also contribute to the growth and vitality of the partnership. Relationships are most successful when both partners feel free to be themselves, to pursue their own dreams, and to celebrate the uniqueness of the other person. When you allow each other to grow independently, you create a foundation of respect, trust, and mutual admiration that fosters a deeper and more fulfilling connection. So never forget to honor who you are outside of the relationship. It's not only good for you, but for the relationship as well. See? One of the most important aspects of maintaining a strong sense of self while being in a relationship is effective communication. It is the key to ensuring that both partners feel heard, respected, and valued, while allowing each person to preserve their individuality. Without clear, honest communication, misunderstandings can arise, leading to frustration and resentment. When you communicate openly and assertively about your needs, desires, and boundaries, it helps create an environment where both partners can thrive without compromising their identity. At the core of communication is the ability to express yourself authentically. This means being true to your feelings and sharing them with your partner, even if they are difficult to express. Often, in the desire to avoid conflict or preserve harmony, people hold back their true feelings or try to appease their partner's expectations. While this may seem like the easier route in the short term, it can lead to internalized resentment and frustration, ultimately harming both individuals and the relationship. Being able to communicate openly allows you to share your true thoughts and emotions, which helps your partner understand who you are and what you need from the relationship. One of the most effective ways to communicate while maintaining your sense of self is through I statements. Rather than placing blame or pointing fingers, I statements allow you to express your feelings without making the other person feel defensive. For example, instead of saying, "You never listen to me," you might say, "I feel unheard when I'm talking, and I would appreciate it if we could take the time to listen to each other more." This method creates a space for conversation rather than conflict, allowing both partners to express their emotions without judgment or accusation. The goal is not to criticize, but to share your experience in a way that fosters understanding and empathy. In addition to expressing your own feelings, it's equally important to listen actively to your partner's needs and concerns. Active listening means being fully present during conversations, without distractions or interruptions. It involves not only hearing the words your partner is saying, but also understanding the emotions and intentions behind them. Listening actively allows you to gain a deeper insight into your partner's perspective and fosters empathy, which is essential for maintaining a healthy relationship. When both partners feel heard and understood, it strengthens the bond between them and ensures that each person's needs and feelings are respected. Communication also plays a key role in setting and maintaining boundaries. When you're able to communicate your boundaries clearly and respectfully, it ensures that both partners understand and honor each other's limits. Boundaries aren't just about saying no to certain behaviors. They are about expressing what you need in order to feel safe, respected, and loved. For example, if you need time alone to recharge, or if there is a certain behavior that makes you uncomfortable, communicating these needs allows your partner to understand and accommodate them. Effective communication about boundaries allows both partners to create a relationship that feels balanced and supportive, without either person feeling overwhelmed or neglected. Don't forget, by the way, that any behavior that you customarily do can be mistaken for the other, so make sure you understand as well as practice. It's also important to remember that communication is not a one-time event. It's an ongoing process. Over time, as individuals grow and evolve, so too do their needs and desires. What may have worked at the beginning of a relationship may not be sufficient later on. This is why it's essential to have ongoing conversations about how you both feel and what you need from each other. These conversations should be open, non-judgmental, and grounded in mutual respect. When communication is consistent and honest, it prevents misunderstandings and helps both partners adjust to the changing dynamics of the relationship. Moreover, communication also involves non-verbal cues, such as body language, tone of voice, and facial expressions. Often the way something is said can be just as important as what is being said. Being mindful of your non-verbal communication ensures that your message is clear, and that you are expressing yourself in a way that fosters connection rather than conflict. Likewise, being aware of your partner's nonverbal cues can help you understand their feelings and emotions more deeply, creating a more empathetic and supportive environment. Another critical aspect of communication in a relationship is the ability to resolve conflicts effectively. Disagreements and misunderstandings are natural in any relationship, but it's how you navigate these conflicts that determines the strength of the bond. Effective conflict resolution involves staying calm, listening to each other's points of view, and working together to find a solution that respects both partners' needs. It's important to approach conflict with the mindset that the goal is not to win the argument, but to come to a mutual understanding. Conflict, when handled respectfully, can be an opportunity for growth and deeper connection, as it allows both individuals to express their needs and find common ground. In conclusion, communication is essential for preserving your identity while nurturing a relationship. It allows both partners to express themselves authentically, understand each other's needs, and maintain a sense of individuality within the relationship. Effective communication fosters empathy, strengthens bonds, and ensures that both partners feel heard and respected. By being open, honest, and attentive in your communication, you create an environment where both you and your partner can grow together while preserving your own sense of self. Communication is not just about speaking, but about listening, understanding, and creating a space where both individuals can thrive as they are.